Hey there everyone, Silver the Hedgehog here, coming to you with the track tier list from the Open Network test. The test had 9 main tracks and 7 Crossworlds playable, which is not even half the total tracks in the game. But how do these tracks stack up currently? Overall, my ranking is based on overall design and layout, how fun it is to race on, and the music. I will not be judging any Open Network test bugs or glitches like those that plagued Mystic Jungle to be objective for the tracks. This list is simply rating the tracks, as I will be making videos doing a deep dive analysis into each and every track in the near future, so please stay tuned to this channel for that. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin with my picks for the cream of the crop, the S tier tracks. E-Stadium. This track is the intro track for the game, being the very first track you ever race on, as the game requires you to play the first Grand Prix to unlock other features. And what an intro track it is. Phenomenal track design with turns and some really great shortcuts. Item placement is very balanced with plenty of trick ramps to get some extra boosts in. There's a key straightaway for some snaking to gain a lead, and on the third lap dynamic change is probably one of the best of all the tracks currently. You can take the initial shortcut itemless by hitting the blue dash panel that appears on lap 3, as blue dash panels give you the same boost effect as a Wisp, allowing off-road cuts. Second, the travel ring that appears during the air trick ramps is a really tight path to nail, making it super easy to get knocked off and forced to lose a huge advantage. The final shortcut is also not too massive to ruin a solid lead you may have. Overall, my favorite base track in the Open Network test, simply peak. Alaska. Unleashed Glazing Part 1, but this Crossworld is both beautiful and extremely fun. Starting with the narrow ice segment with some hazards to avoid in an ice slide, into a water segment with plenty of boosts and waves to jump, as well as a plane segment you can opt to take as well. Ending with a tight hairpin turn and a jump with killer music to boot, this Crossworld is always a treat to choose or get from random. Dragon Road. Unleashed Glazing Part 2, and it deserves it. Dragon Road was my personal favorite Crossworld in the game, with immaculate level design and music. The Dark Gaia Phoenix adds variety to the water segment of every race after you have to race along the dragon's back to reach the lake. You have to react to choose the right way to dodge the Phoenix's firewall, or attempt to do a perfectly timed full jump charge to leap it. Finishing with a tight corkscrew turn to leap back into the main track, Dragon Road was always my choice whenever I could choose it. Alright, now on to the always amazing to play A-tier tracks. Wonder Museum. A very interesting track through a museum of natural history that incorporates fun twists and turns with some hazards and options to choose from. The lap 3 dynamic makes all the museum wake up like Night in the Museum, where the dinosaur fossils try to attack you, the Industrial Revolution section comes to life with moving obstacles, and the statues in the last area start shooting lasers or try to crush you. The hectic on-your-toes action keeps this track feeling fresh every time. The final hard turn cut does have a rather massive shortcut that can cost you races if you are not prepared, however, so keep an eye out for it. Water Palace. The water in this game looks amazing, and it's on display here. A beautiful track that takes you on a tour through the palace into the water segment out back. The lap 3 dynamic doesn't change much besides adding a few dash pads and a rare item box in the water segment. A simple track, but always a fun one. The final shortcut can be game-changing, so be sure to hold a Wisp for it. Sand Road. Sand Road, my beloved. I always loved picking this track. Tight turns with several shortcut options, and a super fun desert dune segment at the end. The lap 3 dynamic opens a new water section that is a little faster, but will always be more crowded, so choose wisely. The only real flaw is the shortcut at the end is so massive that it can completely change races if you do not have the means to take it or have an attack item ready to take down someone that does. Ocean View. Alright, I know this wasn't in the Open Network test for some reason and only the Closed Network test, but I still remember how fun this track was and wanted to rate it anyway. Early tight turns into a straight water segment that allows more options, including a island jump on lap 3, allowing for some creative choice at the end of every lap. The final cut is quite large, so be ready for it. Lap 3 also has a new and very tight optional path that opens up near the start of the track as well, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. Next up are the B tier tracks. Fun to play, but not my first choices. Metal Harbor, the original Sonic Adventure 2 classic. With a really clean remix and simple track layout and no major shortcuts that need items, your driving skill will be on full display. The iconic rocket blasts off while you're in the Crossworld, so in lap 3 you actually take its launch pad as a mega trick segment to get to see it blasting into space as a cool visual. Easily a fun and balanced track. Rainbow Garden. Simply put, this is a beautifully made track, starting with a canyon fly through into some tight turns, finishing with some tricks over the flower gardens. The lap 3 dynamic opens up a new shorter path after the plane segment, but you sacrifice getting an item to take it, so choose wisely. Colorful Mall. Coconut Mall on steroids. Seriously, this multi-layer mall lives up to its title with so many neat shops and visuals to see as you race through it. Getting to choose which layer you want to race allows you to have some breathing room from the pack perhaps. The lap 3 dynamic adds a new red ring to reach the highest tier sooner, as well as adding a slightly slower path to take a travel ring to get a rare item box. So consider that if you need a powerful item. The final shortcut is interesting in that you can still drift in it despite losing speed, so you will still need a boost item to successfully take it. Mystic Jungle. The nighttime aesthetic is simply beautiful. However, this track immediately gives you tight pathways with the ever-present threat of being bumped off by your rivals. The waterway segment lets you choose between 2 paths, and you can even trick off one path and land into the other. The final tight turn and shortcut add some spice to the end of the track, with the lap 3 dynamic adding some 100 rings to the track, and it makes the snake statue on the spiral turn sometimes to launch an attack to cover the blue boost pad. Alright, time for my picks for C tier. Still fun, but I generally won't ever vote for these. Apatos. I loved Unleash, but I'm sorry, I don't love this track. The music is fire, but the beginning segment is really tight for how chaotic the pack with collisions can be. Following with a really basic plane segment into a spiral turn, the lap 3 dynamic is nothing special either, as all it does is reverse the final turn so you go left instead of right. It's just fine in my opinion. Sky Road. This Crossworld fell out of favor for me in the open network test. The opening plane segment is very lengthy with not much in it, and then the 2 tight turns with some balloon jumps. The music is great, but the colors are very simple, and there's just way better Crossworlds to choose from. Dinosaur Jungle. Opening with the downriver segment, this Crossworld immediately removes a lot of control from you as you barrel down the river. Then you instantly have to choose and dodge dinosaurs, which are in different places each time you race somewhat. The long segment is just a long straight path otherwise, and the ending turn is definitely interesting, except the shortcut is just far too easy to drift through to take an easy cut. I just personally did not enjoy this Crossworld very much. For the final tier of tracks in D tier, reminder, these are just ones I would never want to choose, none are truly terrible however. Roulette Road. I feel like I may get backlash for this, but I really didn't care for this Crossworld at all. The balls at the beginning and poker chips are just kinda in the way rather than exciting to drive around. The roulette wheel is just a base turn into a long straight segment to a slot wheels, and then the 2 spiral turns and that's it. A visual spectacle on a very basic track design. Kraken Bay. Irritating. That's how I feel when playing this Crossworld. The water segment at the start is fine and the vibe is really solid. But then this Crossworld randomly picks one of the 2 paths to get extra boost panels, making it the better path, but that path is also guarded by the Kraken that regularly smacks the ground. And the pattern you will get will either be random to what speed you are currently having, either meaning you will either luck out and get the perfect speed and keep going, or be forced to slow down to not get smacked. And the Kraken tentacles hurt really hard. The final plane segment is also pretty just much a straight path unless you want to go off course for an item and lose a lot of time. Lava Cave. Visually cool, way too much flight. The plane feels really stiff to control, probably because they didn't want people mashing level 1 charges constantly to gain crazy speed like we did in the closed network test. So when this Crossworld is mostly a place with new, stiffer controls, it's just nowhere near as fun to play, so I just opt to pick any other Crossworld instead. Alright, that's every track, plus 1, that was in the open network test with my thoughts on each. As you can see here is my tier list for the tracks. They are not ordered within the tiers, but the entire game is super fun so far and I cannot wait to see the other tracks. The tier list I used had some other tracks on it that did not make it into the open network test, but I will say I am super looking forward to so many of them. What were your thoughts on the tracks in the open network test? Let me know below. Please stay tuned to my channel for full in-depth track analysis and overviews coming soon. Please like and subscribe for more Crossworlds content to come. This has been Silver the Hedgehog, and I can't wait to race you all, and I'll see you all at the finish line. See ya!